Right, stable chat here on ventured back into New South Wales actually, and come to Miona Performance Horses. Matty Holz joins me for a start. Hello.
Paul.
And Fiona Gordon, thank you very much for having me.
No worries. It's Fiona Holz now, just so you know.
Well, it says Gordon on the sign out the front, and I'm going to put the signpost up. You've got to get that part fixed up. But officially, Fiona, whereabouts are we? Because I'm shocking at remembering things, and I know the name of the town starts with B, but it's a big name.
It is Burrumbuttock.
Yeah, that's it. What are we, half an hour from Albury, roughly, are we?
Correct, yeah.
Beautiful part of the world. It is dry, but anyone that's been to basically southern New South Wales right through to Victoria knows how dry it is. It's been a very, very harsh year this year.
Absolutely has been, yeah. No, we would love to have a bit of the rain that Queensland have had, but everyone has their own turn, and at the moment it's not turning on for us. No,
it has turned a little bit last week. Matty, beautiful property you've got here. It's an old established farm you purchased. How long have you guys been here for?
We've been here for 2.5 years. Yep. So the year we bought the place was the last of the wet years, and so we were actually quite fortunate to get a lot of the fencing done. So driving them posts in and things was a whole lot easier. Yeah, it can be a bit trying, but it looks beautiful ground. There's great farming land around too, and driving here, it's very picturesque, as long as you avoid the blokes driving sheep. But other than that, the countryside is very pretty, albeit that it is dry. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, it's a beautiful spot, and we love it for its proximity. You know, we're half an hour out to the Hume, and we travel up and down the Hume a lot. So there is beautiful farmland. Lots of cropping, and once we get into them crops get going, and especially in the spring, that green and yellow when the canola's out, and
it's a good part of the world.
It's beautiful. Yep.
Pretty central for you guys, I would imagine, for travelling. Not so much for Queensland, but I think anywhere in basically Victoria. But Dumbolt, what would that be? 3.5, 4 hours further, is it?
Yeah.
The giggle says it's further by the looks.
It's like 6.5, 7.
Is it really?
Yeah.
You need to move to Bendigo for that part. It's a bit closer than that. But you've got most of the southern New South Wales camp drafts would only be a few hours from here, I would imagine. Yeah, and look, there's lots of camp drafts, within 3 and 4 hours. We tend to be a little, we pick and choose a little bit and go where we feel like the good events are, and not just necessarily the local ones, but we go to what we feel like, and that's why we still go to Gippsland, because we love their drafts down there, and yet we'll travel to where we went to Geary last weekend. We heard it was a great draft, so we went to Geary. You've done that a bit this year. I can't think of the other one, Berrigoon. You went to, I think, as well. You don't normally go to that one, and decided to go to that, and had a wee bit of fun as well.
Correct.
Yeah, it was a good draft. Part of the camp draft world is ever evolving too, though, as owners, and you get people investing, giving you horses to train and that as well. So a property like this, for those people, would be ideal for them to be able to travel as well. You don't want to be out in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Again, it's proximity, isn't it? Close to the Hume, people can travel up and down the Hume easy, but also, Albury Airport, they can fly in if they need to, and we feel like it's a great proximity for our job. It is changing the camp draft world, and I'm appreciative of you guys accepting to do this. It's becoming a lot more mainstream, I suppose, is a good way to put it. Especially with places like Willinga. I think it was on Channel 7 last year, or if not last year, the year before. It's definitely was on, getting the message out there. More and more people are getting about it. It is becoming a much more mainstream sport. A lot more people are starting to know about it and getting bigger. Do you guys enjoy that component of it? Do you enjoy it, Fiona? Yeah, absolutely. And I think we've not long come back from Sydney Royal, and watching the people that don't know what camp drafting is, the city people, and how much excitement it was for them watching them draft there at Sydney Royal, just shows that it doesn't matter where you're from, it's an exciting sport to watch and to get involved in. One of the things I suppose a few people saying to me when I started doing a few of these, don't promote it too much because we don't want more people to know about it. The world needs to know about it though, because it's such a great sport. It's such an inclusive sport, isn't it? Yep, absolutely it is. Yep, it's very much a family sport, from your kids through to, the little bit elderly, all still compete, and the kids obviously have their own event, but aside from that, we all compete at the same level. It's more on a horse status than personal status. I might get a clip behind the air. The little bit elderly, like Terry Hall is 72, I think, is that right?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, he's anyway. It doesn't matter. I'm fortunate enough to meet him and quite a few of them. They still compete. They still compete against you guys.
Yeah, and
Fiona, you compete against Matt. That's a great thing about sport. And there'll be 18-year-old young kids coming through, or even 17-year-old young boys coming through, and girls taking on the older people. That's a great part about it. I'm definitely not having a crack at Terry. Please, if he does go past and give me one with the whip, that'd be fine. But it is such a great sport in that sense, isn't it? You all compete on equal playing fields.
Yeah, absolutely. And starting from being young, the kids, they go to the drafts and they want to be involved, and then they go through the juniors and the juveniles and work their way over into the main events. But it is something that they can work towards, and most definitely some of these young kids that are coming through are very competitive and do give us a run for the money in the open sections.
Yeah, the Knutson boys up in Chinchilla and that, they have taken a lot of pride in what they do. I go to quite a few drafts. You guys are a team, and I think that's one thing I have noticed. Anyone who goes to a camp draft, watches outside of camp, I think the entire camp is a team, people helping each other, looking at bulls, not bulls, cattle, but picking the right cattle for each person to go to. You guys probably take it that step further, especially, like at Dumboldt, I was watching, he was sitting there agonising quite a few times over a beast for you. Like, he didn't have a run in a couple of those runs, and he was making sure you get the right beast. It's another side of this, if you like, the team and the camaraderie, if you like, of camp drafting that people take for granted.
Yeah, no, look, absolutely. And we take a lot of pride in trying to find the right beast. We put a lot of time and effort into it. But it's one of those things, if your mate is going in the yard before you want him to get the best beast there too. So we're not afraid to put someone on it. At the end of the day, it's drafting. Rather, you have a cow in the yard when you go in there, or you don't. And that's what makes camp drafting so special, is that we're happy to say, oh, that's probably the best one, but he's in now. Yep. So, you'll put your thoughts forward to that person and be thinking, that's the steer I like there at the minute, and it's up to them at the end of the day. We have a rule between us that whoever's in the yard gets the final say, so you can't go back to the truck and say, will you put me on that steer?
Well, that was actually one of the questions. So my next question was going to be, do you get nervous? But obviously you both work at combined, so you don't get nervous picking one for Fiona because that's your suggestion. If she takes it, well, you both agree. So if it ends up being wrong, well, it doesn't matter, because you just said then the person in the camp, they get the last call of it. So so that would take a little bit of the nerves off, because I was thinking that when I was thinking back to Dumboldt when you were sitting underneath the tower up there, I was thinking, geez, I wonder what happens if he gets the wrong one and gets into trouble with it. So you don't get too nervous?
No, not at all. It's you're only doing your best, and you at the end of the day, it's we still treat it like a sport that we love, and if we get it right, we get it right, and if we don't, then we try and learn from it and understand what we may have missed at that time, and how we could do it better going forward. But you're not going to get it right all the time.
We're going to stop for 1 minute. Right, might just come over a little bit, Fifi, because Matty's not in the picture now, but that's okay. We need him in the picture as well. We just had a couple of horses. We are going to touch on the horses in a minute. How did you guys get involved? How did you not relationship-wise, or if you want to go into that, we can do that as well, but how did you start in camp drafting?
I grew up, my family, I grew up on a dairy farm, but we had horses and used them as part of our work then, and so I grew up, I guess, mum and dad camp draft, and so we got into that as well as sporting events and boy rider classes. And
pony club and do all that as well.
Didn't go to pony club a lot, 2 days I think. But
weren't into the joddies.
No, but the boy rider classes still had to wear jobbers. So, but that back in at that time, all the camp drafts through the Hunter there, they had sporting events and boy-girl rider classes with each camp draft. Had a separate ring where the kids go and compete, which was great for us to be able to be involved in doing something. It kept us busy and left mum and dad alone to go and compete themselves, and so that's where that's where I got involved in camp drafting.
Did you ever expect it to get to where it is now?
No. Look, I don't think you really could have expected it to, but it's certainly got to a point where it's, I guess you'd call it semi-professional, because there's plenty of people that make it their profession, but there's still plenty of people that use it as their sport and their downtime. So not that it's not a sport and downtime for us. We love it, so it's somewhat downtime. But there are definitely people making a profession out of training horses and competing.
So where do you fit? You've sort of skirted around the issue there of, like, is it professional for you?
Well, I guess it has to be, for us. I mean, it's our business, so it's our business, training horses and competing them. So I guess it is professional for us. Yep.
So where'd you start? How'd you start?
Yeah, look, I grew up on a farm where we used horses to move all the cattle. We had an Angus stud, but also ran a commercial herd. So it really just combined my two passions as a kid growing up. Being able to read cattle, look at cattle all the time. That was what we did as kids, and mustering and moving them around, and then fell in love with stock horses and did a lot of stock horse showing. That probably taught me the finesse of training horses and riding properly, because we were just farm kid riders when we were little. We didn't go to pony club, we didn't get lessons or anything like that. You just, here's a horse, there's a job to do, get on, move the cows, so as I got older, I started to understand the more technical side of things. And then I'll never forget the first day I had a run at camp drafting, and I was hooked, line and sinkered. Like, it was like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. So yeah, to be able to combine both my love of cattle and horses in one sport is just perfect fit for me.
Took one of my questions away later on. Do you remember your first run? And obviously you do. Do you remember your first run?
No, I don't remember my first run, no.
Do you remember your first win?
No, I don't remember that either.
Oh,
no.
That's bad. Do you remember your first win?
Yeah, I reckon it was a juvenile event at Tumut Camp Draft.
I've been there. It was on last week, was it?
No.
Not Tumut.
End of the year.
Oh, okay. Very good.
Yep. December normally.
I get confused where they all are. It doesn't matter. So, but I have been there.
Might have been rodeo at Tumut just last week.
Yeah, that's true.
I do know. Yeah, I've been to a few of them, but that's okay. I said there before I was becoming professional. He sort of half, skirted around it. You say about when you started and you're working with your parents and all the rest, and then now all of a sudden you've got the responsibility, and we've got a couple of expensive horses here behind us where people are investing in the sport to make the sport better, but to give you guys the opportunity of better horses. Probably some part of it was never on your radars if you think when you're starting out. Like, it's blown you away as to where it's changed now, where you are getting horses come in. You've got Shero Stallion out there as well. You've got these horses that people are giving you the responsibility of, putting them on there and presenting them. Is that enjoyable? And did you expect it?
Certainly didn't expect it. It's not something, I suppose, through, when I'm 20 and 30 that I guess there was the odd outside horse, but not to this extent. So it's very much enjoyable. And as I've gone along and I guess lucky to be successful and get better and better horses, then, it makes it better again. And I guess you're always continuing to learn. So the better you get, there's two things. It's easier to try and get a finished product, but it's also better for the finished product and getting the job done. Yep. I love the sport. It's no two ways about it. Oh,
it's an infectious sport. Like probably 3-4 years. I think it's 3 years actually. I think I was at Springshaw, and it was probably my first real taste of it. I got a little bit through Bardo, but it is ridiculous, the sport and how it does suck you in, if you like. And I can't ride. That's one of the things, listening to you guys there before. Like, I can't ride. I just admire the way you ride. It was one of those questions. I've got two questions for you in a sec, Fiona. But when you say about your riding and learning that finesse, when you're in a camp and when you're camp drafting, you can have any sort of style of ride, and I mean this in a nice way. Do you watch other people ride and the way they sit on horses and marvel at them, and then others, and you think, how does that work? Yet it seems to work so effectively for some of these people. Yeah, absolutely. There's a diverse bunch of people when it comes to camp drafting. I guess I particularly like to watch the mechanics of a horse and be able to kind of break it down and see that it's using itself to its full potential and things like that. But there's most definitely people out there that are probably what I would refer to as more of an old school technique. Yep. But before we understood the training that we do now, that still have that timing and feel that they can get just as good a job done. Yeah. It's one of those things I find you're better off nearly watching the product instead of judging it, especially if they can get one out and they get a good score. You can actually see what it is there. It's the whole package. It's not necessarily whether the person's straight-legged or bent-legged or sits forward or sits back. It doesn't make one bit of difference, that part. It's actually getting the beast around, getting a great score and the result on it, and that's what I think is so hypnotic, if you like, especially just watching, because that's all I do, is just actually watching it. It is cool. Do you enjoy the professional side of it? As I said, and you and I are going to touch on a couple of these horses in a minute. We'll show them. There's going to be a few interests in a few of them. Do you enjoy the way it's changed, if you like, professional? Yeah,
look, I do, and I think of all these horses that we have on our place here as our own. They get treated like they were our own, and we try and make sure that we've covered every basis, that they are safe, they're healthy, they're feeling well. That's most definitely at the front of our minds constantly. We want them to perform at their best and to work with us, so I think that just goes hand in hand with that. And look, having nice horses around just makes our job so much easier. Like when horses are put together correctly, they sit in a bridle naturally, they can use themselves, they're balanced. They make us look like we're better than what we are.
No, but I understand, and they give a feel too. Matty and I were talking there before. I was asking him, is there one thing that he looks at? And effectively, I think your main crux of your answer was more the feel, not necessarily the physique or the build or the colour or anything along those lines. It's that feel you get back through the reins.
Yeah, it's probably more a feel through the seat. So it's feeling their what
that's
they do.
That's probably a harness racing thing. Sorry, when I say about the reins, because that's the only way we get our feel. But it's interesting when you say the seat as well.
Yeah, no, it's feeling what they do underneath you. Where they put their feet and how they use themselves. So how they carry themselves. Where they put their feet, how they use them. It gives you a feel of how athletic they are and what you think they can do. So for me, it's a feel that I love to try and work off. And Fiona's got a great eye for a horse, but I like to get on them and just get my understanding of what I think of them through my feel.
Yeah. Are you the same, like through the feel in the seat, or you like the whole package?
Oh, I'm probably an all package, but there's nothing better than sitting on a horse that you can feel that has great cadence about it. It moves lovely. You can, it's balanced, it's smooth, and it sits in your hand softly, and so most definitely the feel comes with it. But I found over the years that a better bred and better type of horse, normally the feel is there with it. It's the ones that aren't probably put together as well, a bit more upright in the shoulder, might be a bit rougher to go, and those types of things that has that impact on that feel and that you feel underneath you.
Is the sport going a bit that way? We talked before, I think one of these is natural. No, I might be wrong, it might be an embryo transfer as well, but with the embryo transfer, of course, you get more money. It gets harder then. People are breeding better horses, constantly breeding better horses. Is it getting harder to find that, I suppose, cheapie or that diamond in the rough nowadays through the camp draft because of the way the breeding has changed?
I don't necessarily think so, but if Fiona might, because I think there's still lots of horses being bred, and they're not all out of great mares and by a great stallion. So, and not that makes a great horse, but there's certainly a wide variety of horses being bred. So I think there's still, and through, and like I say, it doesn't have to be out of a champion by a champion to get a champion. So you can find that diamond in the rough through your visual or a feel, and you
can't breed desire. Some horses have it and they want to do it and they want to work with you, and that at the end of the day that doesn't come down to anything more than themselves. So type doesn't come into play with that. We've seen, especially look at gallopers, there's plenty that have come through that don't look like they should be able to do what they do, and they are. So desire is that one thing that I don't think you can breed, but some horses have it, and you just hope as a trainer that you can continue to build that desire within them and not strip that out of them.
I'm going to chat with both of you guys in a second about the year you've had and where it's going and things along those lines. The farm here, though, the direction you guys want it to head to, is it going the way you want it to at the minute? Like, are you enjoying the way it's going? He's got a funny smirk on his face. I don't know what that answer's going to be.
It's going to be something about the weather. I can feel it.
but are you enjoying the direction that it's going to?
Yeah, look, we've. we got a lot done on this place in a short amount of time, and so we've enjoyed that to now. But we're hopefully this winter, when we have a bit of downtime from competition, we'll start to do some more fencing, and not necessarily for more horse paddocks, because what we have now is what we can handle comfortably ourselves. So, but it's more the bigger paddocks, and we just want to improve the place to, there's bits and pieces around our work area here, the shed and thing that we'll try and do, a bit more garden beds. And
it's a great shed. I mean, I'll make sure I've got video over the top at the minute, but you've got everything in one spot. You did have the tunes pumping before, and you've turned them off. Saves me on copyright, so it's a good thing that you've done that. But it's got everything in it. And as you said, it's your workplace. It's where you guys work every day, and it's where you continue to produce winners and continue to hopefully produce more and more winners as well. That's the whole idea of it, I suppose.
Yep, ideally.
That's the way it goes. Best horse you've ridden?
Best horse I've ridden
ever. You'll get asked next, so don't worry. You got think time.
I don't know whether I can.
Okay, how about I'll put it a different way. What's been the best horse to you? Whether it's been your first big win, I'm giving you think times. Don't worry about that. Or it is actually the horse that's won the most or won the biggest thing. Is there one horse that stands out that sort of came along at the right time, maybe?
There's certainly some of later years, and I'll touch on them, but the one that I guess I go back to that I really wished I could have over again now, with, I guess, my knowledge now, it would be a stallion that Dad bred, Neldon Joseph. He was an exceptional horse, and he's we still have some of his progeny, and not that he didn't retire early or anything. He got broken leg in the paddock. He died too early, but we still have some good progeny that we're breeding from, and they're producing great horses. But
it meant a bit to you too, though, didn't it?
Yeah.
Like you were welling up a bit. So I'll give you a sec, because no one wants to see a cowboy cry on TV. So I'll give you a sec to catch your breath. But
he was a special horse, He just and particularly, I suppose, for me at the time, and like I say, knowledge I have now, it'd be. You feel like you could have done a better job with him, but he was incredible.
At the right time.
Of later years, I guess certainly Hazelwood Country Blues and Nonda Last Frontier. I mean, they're probably the two standout horses that have not only done a lot for me, but helped me learn. But been great to train and take along on a journey.
See?
Yeah, mine's really easy. Kawira Cassie, she's the mare that I've, I think I probably was 16 or 17. She came to be broken in, and it was the day before she was meant to go home. I hopped on and had a little ride, and I said, I can't send this horse back. I'm going to have to buy this horse. It was the most balanced horse that I'd ever ridden, and it was just a feel, back to that old thing. But she taught me so much and bettered me as a trainer, and I guess allowed me to build confidence in myself. But she's also now passed away, but the legacy in her babies that she's left, I have 4 incredible horses, and all of them have so many characteristics of her, and again have all been super successful. They've taken me as high as I've wanted to go in the stock horse showing world, but have also been good enough to go on and draft. And her oldest progeny now, Gordon Vale Casanova, he's looking after my little girl Hayley. She's 7, and what she can do on that horse just makes you extremely proud to watch, because she can flying change, haunch turn, jump, anything, and he just does it just the right pace for her. So for a horse that's competed at such a high level, but then to be able to drop back for a kid to build her skills, that's a 1 in a million.
They're both great answers, and Maddie's was probably memories as much as anything. Yours, you're probably still building your memories, if you like, especially through your daughter. She's only 7. You've got another 10 years of memories to be built with them. It's one thing that is so cool. I mentioned about prize money. You mentioned about the professionalism. It's easy for you to say, the highest price horse, or someone might have one here. Both of those horses were horses that there was more to it than what they won and where they actually did. And I think that's probably, I reckon I can answer that question. I'm going to do more of these interviews. I'm going to answer this question to, I reckon, 100 other camp drafters. I'm going to get 98% are going to say the same thing. The horse that actually physically meant something, through what they've been able to, I suppose, a bit of a legacy and that, which is one of the cool things I think about camp drafting.
Yeah, it's an emotional journey that the horses take you on. If you're breeding them, you're following them down, you're breaking them in their first rides and on to their successes. And it's a journey that you go on with them, and they become your mates. They're more than just a horse, they're part of the family.
Yeah. Right, I'm going to showcase a few of these horses. You're going to talk me through Country Blues, a couple of the others as well. They're going to be on a few people's radar, so we'll go through that. And we'll also want to just touch on the year that you guys have had. You've had a pretty special year coming up. I wish you guys had a season. That's one thing. If anyone out there from ACA is watching, I do wish you guys would have a start and a stop for Australia, because I think it would make it a lot easier for people to judge where they're at. But you guys are having a great run. Right, Fiona, we are going to showcase a couple of the horses that you guys have. You're proud of these horses? And I know the answer, but are you proud of them?
Yeah, look, absolutely. We're blessed to have the team of horses that we have here and the breeding that's behind them. And the proof's in the pudding with most of them. They're building up. They've become opening horses. They're moving through the ranks really nicely, and yeah.
Doing a great job. So the first one we want to showcase now, this horse is a Nutrien sales graduate for a start, but this is Hazelwood Country Blues. I keep going to say Conman and I'll get into all sorts of trouble for that. But one, she was an expensive purchase, but she's the serious real deal, isn't she?
Yeah, look, absolutely. This mare's gone on to prove her money's worth, and she's keeps showing up for us. Matthew was only just saying the other day that he doesn't think he's got to the bottom of her just yet with her ability. So 100% exciting times coming with her in the future, and we look forward to having her back at Willinga in the coming weeks.
So she'll be there in 2 weeks' time?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that her first draft this year, or has she had a couple?
No, she won the Open at Nutrien this year already. So
it was too, back in February. Yeah. The year's going away too quick, isn't it?
Yeah, been away for some breeding, and now ready.
Big commitment from Matt Moy as well. And I've been lucky enough to have a couple of chats with him, but he backs you guys, but he's also backing the industry, if you like, and the sport to get better and better. Yeah,
we need people like Matt Moy in the industry. I think he's a lover of camp draft horses. He's grown up with camp draft horses, cattle, so he's got the ability to put nice horses on his truck, but he also has that passion from a young child to see this sport go on.
Yeah, he does. He loves it. Now, this horse here, this is one that you were very proud to actually show you. So this is her first foal, is that correct?
Look, we're really exciting day. Today was her first ride. So this is Hazel's oldest filly that we have. She's by Metallic Cat. So really excited, especially over the next couple of days when we get a few more miles on her. But no, she's done everything that we could have hoped for. She shows plenty of promise and has been a dream to work with so far. Now,
from any of the harness people that are watching this mare potentially goes through the sales. Is that bittersweet for you guys? Like you're trying to, I suppose, continue to win competitions and things along those lines. You get a horse that's bred like this, she's got the opportunity to be able to, I suppose, win competitions, but you guys are probably going to be getting her and putting her through a sale. Is that a bit of bittersweet?
Oh, it is, but we hope that we find the right home for her and they go on and show her to her full potential as well. And, we've got to remember Moy needs to get a bit of a return somewhere down the lines with this. It is still part of a business plan. Look, we haven't decided 100% what we do with her. Maybe a sale, the right person comes along and buys her and we feel has the ability to take her as high as what we think she'll have the ability to. So you never know what comes, but first things first, get a broken in, get a real good feel of what she's like and progress on her training.
Did he give much up with today, like you were saying before about he likes a saddle or what's under? Did he give much up after he got off her?
Oh, we haven't had much of a chance really to talk about it, but we work alongside each other, pony him together when we're breaking him in, and nothing went wrong. She was really good. She was forward and moved off and turned left and right as he asked for her. She was really soft in the bridle, so at the end of the day, that's all you can hope for the first ride.
I take that as a yes, he likes her, because if he didn't like her, he would have said it, you see. So
that's right. There was no swearing involved.
But conformationally wise, just very quickly, she's very sound.
Yeah, no, she's a wonderful filly, really well grown. Metallic cats don't tend to be the biggest horses out there. He's a quarter horse stallion, but I think this mare shows a lot of her mum's characteristics. She's a really well grown rising 2-year-old. She's got plenty of bone, length of rein, hip, shoulder. So no, at this stage, and I think that probably comes through on why she's been so easy to break in. She's a balanced horse that sits in the bridle naturally. Very
similar to Mum too. That's why I went and put the camera back onto Mum. When they were, before we had to retie them, they were sounding pretty similar. They got the same sort of backside rear end action, haven't they? They're very similar as well. The next horse?
Yeah, this one's a rising 3-year-old. This is Shakira's tapped in Al Capone. We'll just move this one out of the road.
Doesn't want to do the job.
Obviously very quiet. So we're at this stage we're thinking maybe snaffle futurity with her. She has all the characteristics of her mum. She's so similar to her. Other than the colour, I think that's about all. She's had the same mindset. They have such big hearts for little horses, huge amount of ability, just naturally want to stop and turn around. She's been really exciting, and I think Matthew's never done a snaffle futurity before, but this is probably a pretty good one to start off with, and she gives us that feel of a horse that would succeed in that discipline.
I admire him for that, because we did mention his age there before. Never too old to teach an old, what do they say, the old dog new tricks?
No.
This horse?
This is one of the younger ones that Matt Moy had purchased out of Nutrien this year. She's by Gunnerman. Look, she's a lovely put together mare. I don't think it would matter if you wanted to show her dressage, jump, whatever. When you watch this mare go around, she has so much cadence to herself. Covers the ground. She's light on her feet. One that we're really excited to have part of the team, and we'll hopefully get her back for the Classic next year, but we're always led by them on where they're up to, but that's what we'll work towards for her. But no, we're very excited to have this Gunman filly on the truck. Different shape to the other two too, a lot more leg underneath her. Yeah, that more typical stock horse mare, but we've still got that great length of hip to pin, legs set up underneath her, and a rein and clean gullet in front that allows you to just sit in the bridle. Yeah. And then the last one? Yeah, this one belongs to Jeff Porges, and out of a mare called Yellow Mist by One Stylish Pepto. This is the mare that she was leading the Classic going in this year. Matthew and I are very much stock horse people. We love stock horses, and that's where our heritage comes from what we first started riding. But this is an incredible full quarter horse that we really think a lot of. She travels the ground and is as comfortable as riding a stock horse, but then has all the attributes of a quarter horse that we love, and her ability to read a cow, be patient through her turns, balance with her feet, and get through her turns and stay with the cows. Super cool. Absolutely a horse we're excited to have on the truck and be part of our team. And again, we're very grateful to have the opportunity to be training her, and really look forward to seeing what we can get out of her this season coming. Throw the racing person back into me. A quarter horse is designed to run a quarter mile as fast as they can, and if anyone's watched them, they are crazy races. Is she quick on a beast? She is, and particularly for a quarter horse. I guess the quarter horse sprint horses you're talking about, they're a lot different than, say, the cutting quarter horses, much different styles. So they're a lot more squat to the ground, where your sprint quarter horses have a lot more leg on them. Okay. Yeah. I'm learning something different every day. Don't worry about it. I enjoy learning. So, but she's still quick over the ground anyway. Yeah, she's no different to riding one of your 15-hand stock horse mares. She's knows where her feet is, really balanced, and has a great stride on her. So, yeah, super excited for this mare, and she'll have a big future for sure. No, very good. That's it.
Fiona, thank you very much. I'm going to catch up with Maddie, but thank you very much for allowing me to have a look around. Hopefully it's showcase a few people. I want to try and get it, just change it up and showcase some of these, what you people are able to achieve, the time you devote to your horses and the way you love them. So thank you very much for joining me.
No, thank you. I think we think of ourselves more of a bit of a boutique training centre. It's only Matthew and I. We're kind of a big believer that if people are paying for us to ride their horses, then there shouldn't be anyone else here, and we don't like to miss anything. So morning feeds, afternoon feeds, rugging, putting away, washing down, that all gets done with Matthew and I. So it allows us to have that really one-on-one hands with our horses and make sure we're not missing anything that they might be trying to tell us. And so we get the best out of them.
Fee, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Right, Maddie. I did want to just touch on the year that you've had. It's 12 months. Willinga is coming up 12 months ago, and you were able to win that. The journey of camp drafting, though, is not always about necessarily first place, although it does pay the bills and does help to keep you ahead of a lot of things. The year you have had, though, are you proud of where you've been able to achieve? Because you've, if not won, you've featured very highly. I think Chinchilla, you made the final there. You were able to achieve, quite a few great results. Are you proud of what you've been able to achieve?
Yeah, absolutely. It has been, great. Probably more than 12 months. I feel it's. I've been very happy with how things have, gone along for a couple of years, a good couple of years. So, very proud of that, and it is more than just those big ribbons, the blue ribbons or tricolours. Like it's about getting horses to a level that is either at their best or you're presenting them at their best, so that people see the horse for what they are and might not necessarily be a win in it, but they can see how talented they are. And for me, that's the ultimate for what we do is getting a horse trained to a point and present it in a way that you're showcasing the horse. So,
yep. I said about Willinga because it is up there. Then we've got the Dumboldt. What do they call them? Longhorns. They are the Longhorns. So I wasn't sure if that's what they were, and I know that's a special part. Like we actually met there. That's where we come up with the idea. I wouldn't mind doing one of these going through. You got yourself with Mark Barton there. Is that the classic or is that the graduates? What's that photo up there on the wall?
The one with Shakira's tapped in. I think that was the graduate cup. Yeah, year before last. Yep. She was fortunate with that. Was in September. Yep, 18 months ago.
So you've won quite a few. If you could pick one to win this year, what would it be? You like these curly questions?
Yeah. No, I don't necessarily have one. I think. They're all got, even the small drafts. They're all great as well. I don't think you can take away from them. Sure, the others might have big prize money and perhaps more people in them, but just to win or place in a draft is a feat in itself. So, look, I think for me it's still just presenting a horse, the best you can and having them go well. Yeah, that's a win.
Mate, thank you. I do appreciate you giving me a bit of time. I think the job yourself and Fiona are doing, I actually appreciate it because, on green, anyone wondering why he calls me Sweet Cheeks, we better get this part out actually officially here. It was Laurel Miles, and she'll probably be watching this, but she used to call me Sweet Cheeks. And so if anyone, when we're going around camp drafts, if you hear some bloke riding past me and go Sweet Cheeks, it'll be this bloke here. You're the only person that's remembered that nickname. That's where it comes from. Is that true or not?
That's right, yeah. So I was fortunate to work for Lee and Alison Miles for a little period of time, which was great. And and Lee alerted me to the fact that your nickname was Sweet Cheeks, so I haven't forgotten.
I know, but it's so wrong sometimes. The looks I get from people, they see that, they just get a bad thought in their mind, that's for sure. So
I'm sure it's all good.
It is all good as well. Mate, thank you. I really appreciate it. I love what you guys are doing here and continuing to grow the investment too. You've got to take hats off to you. It can be scary investing this much money sometimes, can't it?
Yeah, it sure can, but we as we've said, it's our workplace and you've got to have a good workplace. So
no, absolutely. Thank you. Thanks to Fiona as well, mate. I signed off on her before, so thank you very much.
Good as gold. Thanks, Paul.